Hello friends, welcome. I'm Robin with Zimmy Simple Designs. If you see the little live light, you've caught me live. If not, you're watching the replay. Please type in #replay. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Let me know if you're new so I can welcome you to my page. That's down just a little too far. Alright, I'm gonna go find myself. And oh, okay. It's like, uh-oh, did I not come live on my page? Hi, Natalie. How are you? Hello, hello. Sprinkle myself out here. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for getting me in the group. I appreciate it. Hi, Sandra. No, Sandy. Hi, Ruby. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for sprinkling, Natalie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ruby, for sprinkling. All right, guys. This is my segment in Craft Around the Clock. Thank you all for joining me. We're just going to do something really fun and simple today. We're just going to do Sandra. Okay, I was right the first time then. Okay. That's what I get for second guessing myself. So I just have one of the cedar boards that I have, that I've had, and just a piece of wood. My husband brought home a box of these wood planks. I don't know where he got them from, but there's just these thin wood planks, a whole box, and I forgot I had them. I was in my little area over behind the door there, and hi Fatima, and I saw it. Hi Cynthia, saw it and opened it up. It was like, what is in this box? Hi Kim, opened it up. Hi Lori, and yeah, it was these wood. So I don't remember where he picked them up at. I've had them a couple years, but yeah. Hi Roseanne, how are you today? Hi Darla. Hello, hello, hi Babs. Welcome everybody. I appreciate you all for joining me. Really, really do. You guys are the best. So we're just gonna make a simple scarecrow. Nothing spectacular today. So I've cut out of cardboard a little nose, and I cut this crow we're gonna use maybe on our scarecrow. So hi Leah. So I'm just kind of laying this down, see where I want the face to start and where I want the hat to start on here. I'm not going to get too... Hi Griselda. So, oh, my nose. I'm going to paint the face in French linen, home decor chalk paint. And then we're going to paint the hat. I thought just for something different, I'm going to paint the hat in this Rusty Bell chalk paint from Nicole with a Frayed Knot. So I just thought it would be something different. So I was using this same color paint earlier, so I have my brush still. So I'm just going to kind of mark here where I want to start. I'm not going to get it too matched up because this is going to, you know, cover it. So I just kind of want a starting point, like I said. So how is everybody? I've kind of had a rough morning, but it's okay. I'll get through it. We'll get through it. Hope everybody else is having a good day. All right. This spot came open last minute last night, and I wasn't going to do it. And I thought, well, might as well, right? So, and I got my dinner on already. So, yeah. Uh-oh, what's going on now, Rose? Uh-oh, what happened? Oh. My goodness. Oh my goodness, sweetie. I'm sorry. I'll bet it feels better, though, to have those staples out. Anyway, yeah, I hope. How is physical therapy going for you? On that, as far as that goes, I hope it's going well. So it sounds like we both had a rough morning. Hi, Kim. Everybody having a good day? Yeah, I did do some sanding this morning, but otherwise I've been able to play. I've been doing a little crafting today. So I've been watching and Crafter on the Clock creators and made a couple things. I did another cutting board and yeah. So I kind of like this color. I just thought, because it's a scarecrow, not really to do a flesh. It kind of is like a muslin color. So I liked it. So I'm just going to dry this just top part right here just a little bit so I can paint the hat part for now. Okay. My dogs aren't too thrilled with me right now. I don't feel like I'm yelling over my cute tool. I feed our dogs dry and wet food. And so I'm the one who mixes it. My son, or my husband doesn't like to do that. So, and they eat like at 5 o'clock. And I tell you, they know when it's 5 o'clock. They know when it's getting close to dinner time. So I went out there and got their dinner ready and left it on the counter so my husband could come in and feed them. So they're not happy campers because they thought they were going to get to eat, and I didn't feed them. So they're a little bummed right now. So, all right. I got some more tomatoes and cucumbers, another cantaloupe from our neighbor man that I got to cut up. I was going to say something. Oh, we gave our neighbor one of the dishes I made. We gave him some of it to try. And my husband put it in an old plastic Tupperware container that he used to carry when he would take his lunch to work. So it's pretty well seen, had better days. It's, you know, he would throw it in the microwave and it was kind of, you know, melted from the, you know, heating it up. Well, the neighbor thought he had ruined it and went out and bought me a new dish. So I told my husband, I said, he did not need it. He says, yeah, I know. I told him that it was like that when we gave it to him. He says, and I thought I told him when I handed it to him. And my husband tried to get him to keep the dish. And he was like, no, no. Hi, Patty. He's like, no, he looked all over around town to get one exactly like we had, and he couldn't find one. And, anyway, he got something. Anyway, it came in a package of 2. So he got one and we got one. But, yeah, he didn't need to do that. Hi, Gail. How are you today? It was like, you really didn't need to do that. It wouldn't have mattered. It was most of the things I send when I send things to neighbors or whatever are things I don't really. Yeah, it was sweet of him, Natalie. If I get it back, I get it back. If not, I don't mind, not that. And so it wouldn't have mattered to me whether I got it back or not. But I just thought that was awful sweet of him to do, to replace that old tacky plastic container. It's a little chilly here. Well, I think it is. It only made it to 67 here. Hi, Lori. Yeah, it was. It was very sweet of him. Yeah, that's just the kind of guy he is. He's just a sweetheart. He is, he's really sweet. All right, we got this. I'm going to see if I can just pour a little bit out on here because I don't have much more to do here. Oop. I probably have way too much. Yes, I do. Way too much. I had to go grocery shopping yesterday. Yuck. I wait until I absolutely have to go and then I go. I just don't like spending that kind of money. It's like, that's a lot of money, It's like, really? But we got to eat, right? And we got to eat. So we're going to. It rained this morning. Your mom sometimes would use this art. Yeah. My mother-in-law saved a lot of those containers and would use them. Butter dishes. Jelly jars. All of that stuff she would save. And then, she used them for leftovers at her house, but then she would send, stuff with people, then it didn't matter whether it got brought back or not. Yes, it is. It is. We are grateful. You're right. We could have, anymore, you never know what kind of neighbor you're going to get. And we feel very blessed that he is living next to us. Hi, Sharon. Saturday, you're going to get rain, Sharon? We got a little this morning. And, well, when I got up this morning, it was raining. Yeah. Thank you for sprinkling, Gail. But when it's raining, Dolly doesn't like to go out when it's raining. She's kind of real hesitant. So when I went to let her out, she didn't want to go. I had to kind of scooch her out. My husband was standing there and he's like, she wouldn't go outside? And I said, well, no, it's raining. He says, well, does she do that all the time? Well, a week ago, he was in the kitchen in the morning, and it was raining out, and him and I both had issues getting her out the door. And I'm like, why are you asking me that? You know that she doesn't like to go out when it rains. Oh, well, I thought that was a one-time thing. I said, no, every time. If it's raining out, she don't want to go out. She don't want to go out in the rain. And I think it's not the rain necessarily that she doesn't like. It's the thunder and the lightning. And so she, puts the two together, that if it's raining, it's got to be thunder and lightning. So she doesn't want to go out. She doesn't mind the snow. So I just cut these out of cardboard, the little nose and my crow that we're painting up. Yeah. Yeah, but she's funny. She's not one that, like, you had a dog like that too, Gail? She is funny because, hi, Elizabeth. She's not one to mess around. She goes right out and does her business and wants right back in. Our other one, Sadie, will be out there for ever. She's out there forever trying to find just the right spot to go. And, okay, and, if she hears a noise and it distracts her, no, not Dolly. She's just off the porch, around the corner it goes, comes right back. She don't mess around. So, okay, we're going to paint our little crow up. And I'm going to paint it in, I guess I didn't tell you, I used pumpkin spice to paint the nose. And this is chalk paint too. And then I'm going to do Crazy Crow for our crow. And then I've got Gold Nugget, I'll do the beak and all of that. So, but we're going to get this painted up. My husband had a couple of cutting boards. I had an order for a couple of cutting boards, so he got those cut, and I went out and sanded those this morning. But like I said, I've been kind of enjoying my day. Tomorrow I need to do laundry. So, hi Mary Schneider, how are you? I do some crafting when I do laundry, but I usually try to just do laundry because I'll get busy crafting and then forget I'm doing laundry. And because it's in the basement, it's not like I hear it go off, my washer and dryer. So I can't hear it when cycle is finished. So I'm bad about that, Doc. Under the bed shaking, felt so bad for her. We would sit with her. Oh, yeah. Dolly's not, she's really afraid of the thunder and lightning. She is. And fireworks. Hi, Linda. But like she went out. She just, it just takes a bit. It just takes a minute. And then of course neither one of them will go out for my husband. I have to do it. So he gets frustrated with them because they'll want to go out and they'll get all excited if he tells them. And then he gets clear to the door and they both stand there looking at him like, what? What do you want? And he gets so frustrated because well, you want it out. I was letting you out. And they just stand there and look at him. They won't. All right, really, Mary? Yeah. Now, our other dog, Sadie, doesn't mind the fireworks or the thunder. She don't bother her. but Dolly is very afraid. All right, so we've got everything painted. And we're going to sand this up, give it some distressing. Hi, Cheryl. Sounds like your dogs won't go out for your husband. So I'm just going to take my gator sander and sand this. Just a little bit. Hey, Jamie. How are you today? This is kind of rough wood. I sand it a little bit, but I take it out and use my little palm sander on it. But I like kind of leaving it a little rough. It helps when you go to sand it like this. I think it kind of gives it more of that distress look. And my husband's going to another auction on Sunday. And he's already let my daughter-in-law know that he's already checked it out. That there's a couple of couches and a dining room table. So I think she'll be going with him. But I think he's going to another one with just schools with the neighbor on Friday. I think is what he told me. So he's going to be busy this week, going to auctions. All right. Which is fine with me. It keeps him busy. I'm doing good, Jamie. All right. There's that part. I'll wipe that off here in a minute, but I'm going to sand this. I almost did. I didn't have enough paint sticks. Hi, Barb. I like making these little scarecrows out of the big 5-gallon paint sticks, but I didn't have any, so that's what I used. And I didn't want to go to Menards to get some, so I thought this will work. I've used these before too for them. They work just as well. You got your pickleballs, and they were gross. Oh, really? That doesn't, is that from Sonic, Lori? Those pickles that they advertise? That is gross. That doesn't sound good. Okay. That don't sound good either. All right, we're gonna sand these. I do sand my cardboard too. I like that because you can see the corrugation when you do. And this was dry. I was surprised. I didn't even think about it when I started sanding, that this might still be wet. Yeah. That is disappointing. All right, and his little nose. But guys, you could use any, so if you had, even if the smaller paint sticks, did I give? right. So everything's sanded. There's a lot of dogs. Totally spoiled. Yeah. You order from Amazon. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Oops, Dolly, I'm sorry. I seen Dollar General at the checkout. I think it was Dollar General had just the small packages of pickle flavored Cheetos. Now that did not sound good to me. But I don't really, pickle chips don't really sound good to me either. So, okay, so let's get our little scarecrow. And I haven't decided how I'm going to do the mouth. What does my shirt says, but God, there was no way, but God made a way. It says, but God, and then it says, where there was no way, God made a way. I got it from Love and Faith, is where I got my shirt, Cruz. All right. Still yucky. Okay, I want to get rid of that, not that. Okay, so we're going to get this waxed. 4:30, so I have to be done by 5:15. All right, we're going to hurry. We're going to hurry. I've done one where I used wire for the mouth, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do this one that way. Or if I'm just going to draw it on. All right, get him a little grungy. But I like the look. See how that wood is kind of raised, and I like that. These are old cedar planks I got from my neighbor. Gal I used to work with, actually. I got a whole bunch of them. I'm down to not very many, but I use them a lot. The cheese ball is different. Hi, Denise. How are you? Get that in. All right, we'll get this real quick. When it's nice. Yep. We are all blessed in Jesus' name. You're right. All right. Get this kind of... All right. And his little nose. I'm trying to hurry here, guys. I ordered some surfaces from Christina. I can't wait to get them. Try them. I've used one of hers, and I really like them. So this is going to go here. We've got her little nose. And you know what? I probably should have. But this is I've got this fabric. from Hobby Lobby, like this. I love it. And it's actually sewn, and you could buy it by the yard. Now, I haven't seen it there in a while, but I don't know if you guys can see. It's actually stitched together fabric. And I'm going to make, I cut up 2 pieces for a bow, but I was thinking I want to cut a couple of pieces for like some patches on our scarecrow. But I should have done something, beads for his eyes. And I'm just gonna, you really can't tear it. But I'm gonna cut through there and I think I can finish tearing. But like I said, I cut this and just coffee grunched it, and it's already starting to fray. I don't know if you guys can see that. Not a whole lot, but just a little. I didn't cut that very straight at all. That's okay. We'll cut right there, and I'll tear that. And I know this is clean, because I wasn't sure if I was going to use it. So I was thinking to add just a little patch up here. Yeah, isn't that cool fabric? Just a couple of little patches on him. I caught Esmeralda's live sale yesterday. And my husband was in the house. And he caught me watching. And I was, yeah, oohing and ahhing over some of the things she had. And he says, so now what? He looked at me and goes, so now what are you buying? And I said, I'm not buying anything. And at that point, I wasn't. I didn't buy anything at the time. But I did get something from her. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to, hi Sheila. I'm going to kind of lay this up here. I think we're going to go over here. But I've got some other right here that's darker. So I actually think I'm going to tear, or kind of tear a section right here. And have 2 different kinds of fabric here. Thank you, Darla. I appreciate that. If you see anybody else here in the comments that you're not following, make sure you follow them. A lot of these ladies that have pages are also in Craft Round the Clock. There are an amazing group of ladies in Craft Round the Clock. It's an amazing group. And if you want to join the group, the link is in my, you can click, I did tag the page, and you can click that, and you can join. It is a free group. Just make sure there's a few questions that you have to answer so that you can get approved. And Tracy does that just to keep the page safe. So, but I think we're going to do just these couple of patches here, kind of at the top. And I will go over the top of this with some wax to kind of grungy it. Sadie, hush. Sorry, guys. Some kids are... Hey. She thinks somebody's here. There's some kids running down the sidewalk, and they were a little loud. Oops. All right, I'm gonna add his nose. On here, and then we're gonna add those little patches. In fact, I think I might take this other little one and put it down, maybe down here. All right. Oops. Let's get the brim of his hat down. And I'm using my Tite Bond and my Stick Fast for that. Hey, Brenda. Okay, we'll get this down. They're just like chomping at the bit to get their dinner. They're, all right. I don't know yet about that one, but I do want to put these up here. And I'm just gonna hot glue them. And then I'll take my wax and I'll kind of, hi Becca. You can Mod Podge this. I'm just gonna do it this way. It's just as easy. I don't use a whole lot of glue on it. I try to use just a little bit so that you can't see. Well, I didn't get any on there. Come on. I really need to get, I'm getting low on my hot glue. I need to order some hot glue one of these days or I'm going to be out completely. Hi, Kathy. How are you? I know I'm not in this week's Fun Friday, but if you guys like fake bakes, that's what this week's Fun Friday is Fake Bake Fall. I don't know who all is in it, so, and every Friday there's a new theme. Tracy does a Fun Friday, and it's always something different. So I don't do fake bakes. So I didn't sign up for this one. I didn't sign up for this one. I know a lot of creators are getting into that, but I've seen some amazing things some of the creators have made doing it, but it just hasn't really interested me. But so I'm sure you're going to see some really cool things. I know Miss Tracy has done pies and different things too on her page. All right, so that's what it looks like. And I might take my Sharpie and go around it like little stitches. Put little stitching around this. Ouch. And wax it. I'm going to add some wax to get this grungy because it's too clean. I didn't take a piece and coffee grunge it when I coffee grunged the other. I just thought, well, I'll just take the waxing and get it grungy. All right. But I need to get some eyes here. I forgot to pull some down. I've been using these plastic half beads. Thank you, Cynthia. For eyes. And we're going to add a couple of eyes. And I got these off of Amazon, and there's 3 different sizes or 4 different sizes, and they make great eyes, especially if you can't draw eyes or do eyes. I love them. I use them a lot. The only thing I don't like about them is that they're, neither have I, Becca. They don't sell at craft fairs or anything. They don't, Kathy. I wondered how well they would go, but I'm going to grab a piece of tape here because I'm going to paint these. I don't like that these beads are shiny, so I just take a piece of tape here. And I'm going to tape this down and tape these eyes to them. And I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to paint. I'm just going to use my Crazy Crow chalk paint, and I'm going to paint over the top of them, and it will take that shine away. Now, if you don't mind the shine, you know, you wouldn't have to do this. This is just my preference. I don't really care that they're shiny. I like more of that matte kind of a look, I guess. And I just paint them up and dry them, and then there's his eyes. And like I said, I haven't decided yet on not your area. Yeah, I haven't done one, and it just didn't, I don't have a lot of the stuff that you need to do a fake bake, so it was like I really don't want to spend a lot of money. So, trying to be good and use what I have. All right. So, it's just not my thing. I mean, and like I said, I've seen some things that people have made, and they're amazing how real they look. I mean, the people that do them do an amazing job. It's just not something that I'm interested in doing. Are you doing it, Jamie? I suppose you could, Jamie. I haven't tried. I just thought about it. Didn't even think about it till you just now said something. I've just always used the black paint. Well, it's all I had, so before I had the dead flat. And I'm putting these on here kind of wonky. I wanted to give them kind of a wonky look. So I'm just putting a little drop of this CA glue or my stick fast on here. Did you find their dinner?
Yeah, I found it.
You are? Yeah. You're in it, Jamie, are you? All right. So that's what he's looking like so far. I just wanted to give him something. Hi, Jeannie. All right. So I've got my Bodavra, and we are going to add a bow. But I know I'm not going to get finished. But I will finish him, and I will post a picture. I will post a picture. What did I do with all that? And I don't know that I'm going to use all of this. I have 2 pieces of lace here. And actually, I have this other lace. It's brown. And I'm thinking, see, I have this old brown lace that I got from Esmeralda. And I'm thinking I might use that instead of this other. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you stick around. If you are in the group, I don't know who's up next, but just stay in the group and hit refresh. Thank you, Griselda. And you will see the next presenter. I think it goes until 8, 9 o'clock at night. There's even some late night crafters usually that come on. And I know there's an event going on this weekend in Craft Around the Clock. In fact, there might be 2 events, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. So I'm not positive, but you have a blessed evening too, Cynthia. Thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate you all. And you know what? I don't know that I'm going to even worry too much about flipping this. All right, guys. Make sure you stick around. See the next creator. Thank you, Barb. Thank you all for being here. You guys have a wonderful, blessed rest of your evening. And I will see you. I will be live on Saturday. So hopefully I'll see you then. Bye.